Never let someone tell you that you are too sensitive or overreacting when you simply refuse to stay silent when someone isn't treating you the way that you deserve or with respect. Hey everybody, it's me again, and welcome to part 2 of Disaster Date's Roommate Edition. So there's a lot to unpack here, but before we do, I just want to mention that this is in no way an attempt to shame this person. I'm only recalling my experience and sharing my story with you. With that being said, let's get started! Yeah, I was thinking about moving back to America, and then I saw how poorly our American citizens were dealing with it. Essentially, COVID was really bad in America, and I decided to stay here in China after all. Following my decision, I had met someone. That's a topic for another video. And I started a new job. I was an international marketing manager, and it was an amazing opportunity. The hours were really long, but the experience was going to be chef's kiss, everything that I wanted. Just poor timing with COVID. What I was supposed to do was travel back and forth from America to China frequently, which I would love to do. However, COVID said, not today. I would have to leave my apartment 7:30 in the morning because traffic in the city and coming back as well is terrible. I wouldn't get home until 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, depending, and it didn't matter whether I took the metro or a taxi. So I was having 12+ hour days. And I started to notice when I would come home, I now have 3 extra bodies in my apartment. Kuda wasn't trained. It's not her fault. She's just a little bitty bum. So she was peeing and pooping all over the place. Of course, she's 2, 3, 4 months old at this point. She's not potty trained, but the other 2 were. I realized very quickly, Karen was very messy. Her dog, Butch, would shed a lot, and I mean a lot. She wouldn't clean it up, so I was coming home having to clean up after Karen, having to clean up after Butch, and then having Karen say, your dog made a mess over there again, you might want to clean it up. Which is fine, it's not her responsibility to at all, but it would be nice for a little bit of help, even after I've mentioned it to her, hey, I'm having this really long day. If something has happened, can you help me? And it's still, the outcome is always the same. It's fine, it's just more of an annoyance than a grievance. A few days later, Drake finally ended things. He had tried ending things with her before, but she just wasn't getting it, so he finally sat her down and said, look, I do not see a future with you. And after that, she was a mess. And I tried to be there for her, and I was like, look, yes, Drake is one of my better friends, but you are my roommate and you're still my friend. I'm gonna be here for you. What do you need? And she said, for you not to hang out with him ever again. And I said, okay, realistically, what do you need? Now I'm coming home from work to a mess, physically, and then a mess on the couch. So I was trying to be there for her, but it was a very awkward situation for me to be in because she absolutely loathed when I would go hang out with Drake. Then I started to feel like I'm having now to sneak around to go hang out with my friend. And I'm also getting to the point I'm not having any opportunity for me time to unwind. I can never have a bad day because I know the person in my apartment is already having a bad day and I have to go lift her spirits. You can't just keep giving, because if you're not getting any energy back, you're gonna drain out. And that's what was happening. I was getting drained. So it was coming to a point where I was just avoiding coming home. I was waiting until she was either out of the apartment so I could grab Kudo, or until she was asleep, which is so bad to say. And at the time, I felt guilty for doing that, but now I prioritize me. During this time in which she was feeling bad, she started opening up about her life, and I quickly realized that she was a pathological liar because she would lie like about little things here and there, but then when she would talk about her life, she would tell stories again, but there would be inconsistencies, and details would change, and names would change, and places would change. So then when I asked her about the inconsistencies, she got snippy and would just shut off completely and be like, oh, you just don't understand. You're right, I sure don't. Eventually she starts feeling better though. She said that she read a quote about forgiveness and to wait for those who have done you wrong because they will come back in the end. And I said, I hope this isn't about Drake because that's not gonna happen. And Drake had told her that at the end of the year, he was probably gonna go back home. She decided to start looking at schools in his home country and said, well, at the end of the year, I'm just gonna go get my degree. And that's a little suspect. Why would you go there? I've always wanted to. And I was like, few days, maybe a week later, she quickly realizes that it's actually finished. They go back to her throwing fits whenever I would go see him, and back to me not sneaking around anymore, but being more sensitive about the subject and saying, hey, listen, I'm going to see Drake. I just want you to know that we're going to be out and about. And it was always a touchy subject, but What are you gonna do? During all of this, I'm also getting a little more serious with Joe. Serious as in like not just texting anymore, like we're actually hanging out. So I was going to invite him over to the apartment for the first time. I messaged Karen, I want to bring Joe over. Is that okay? Are you gonna be home? She's like, nope, don't you worry, I'll be out of your hair. I was like, okay, great. We're just gonna watch a movie and then we're gonna go take a walk. Joe and I come upstairs and guess who sat down on the couch? Bit the remote. So guys, what are we watching? Are you fucking kidding me? So Joe and I look at each other and we're like, dunno. Guess we'll see. We watched a scary movie together. I was coming up with all these excuses, like maybe something changed, maybe she didn't want to be out of the apartment. Things started to get a little more fishy because she was always asking for his contact on multiple occasions. When I say multiple occasions, I mean more than 10 times she asked for his contact. And I flat out told her, no, I don't feel comfortable with you having it. There's no reason for you to have it. Whenever she would ask for it, I immediately just flashed back to Sharon and Dave. That's not happening to me. No, not in this lifetime. So then after this, Joe came over again and I went to the bathroom and she decides to take his contact. I hear her say, oh, just give me your contact. And he felt uncomfortable because he's a nice guy. And when we left, he expressed how uncomfortable that made him. He also knew how I was feeling about it. So then I started to speak with Jorge and Drake about, okay, how can I get her out? Jorge's still stuck in Hong Kong. Drake is here. Drake says, you just have to sit her down and tell her. And I felt very uncomfortable doing that. Normally I'm like a yeah, but now I don't know how to go about this situation because one, I don't want to make her feel uncomfortable. And two, I kind of financially depended on her at the time to still afford this apartment because I wasn't working as much as I should have been. And when I say I wasn't working as much as I should have been, it means I quit my marketing job because, long story short, my boss actually was kind of shady. He wanted to send me to the States to open the business there and then stay there forever and not provide me with a visa to get back into China. But my visa was running out, so I said, no, quit, and I started with Lazy Lauai Gym. Yeah, the hours are so much more flexible. It was amazing. It's right down the street, so now I'm at home more. And during this time, I had written this amazing recommendation letter for Karen to get her job now at this amazing school, and so things are looking up. Things are looking positive. We're like, okay, maybe we've jumped over hurdles. Now, like, we're good. We're friends. Now that I'm at home more, I'm starting to notice little things. Little things that separately it's fine, but now coming all together, it's like, whoa, I don't know. The first one, she never paid rent on time. I always had to remind her to pay rent, and she would never go pay the utilities, which I told her to pay utilities, we have to go to the management office. Takes 2 seconds, but she would never do it. I have no problem doing that, but at the time when I was working so much with that marketing job, I was like, Then she would always speak so poorly about her friends. She was speaking very poorly about Bertha and about other close friends that she had, and I was just thinking, they're really close. What is she saying about me to these people? Then come the snide comments. If I was wearing bikini bottoms or a shirt like this, it's like, ooh. She would say, ooh, I mean, good for you for wearing that, but I could never wear such a revealing piece like that. I'm too modest. Girl, show off what your mama gave you. But then a big thing. I had told her that my brother was gay and that he had gotten engaged. Yeah, he's engaged. Come on, Jared and Matt. I told her, her response was, oh, congratulations, I'm a Christian, and God doesn't agree with that. But God also says, thou shalt not judge. So I'm not one to judge. What? Another thing, you need to remember this one for part 3. I bought this elephant trinket in Thailand. I was gonna give it to my dad for Father's Day. And so I had it on display in the living room because I was really excited about it. So I should have kept that thing wrapped up under my bed like I had it for my dad and to send it over to him. But no, I was like, oh, it's cute, I'm gonna keep it until COVID ends. Starting to sound a whole lot like when COVID ends, like, oh, he'll change. But she would always put that elephant in her room, and I would pass by her room, but see my elephant on her dresser. And I was like, no. And I went in there, took it, put it back in the living room, and told her, like, hey, that's mine, please don't move it. Passed by a couple more times, and like many more instances, she will have moved it into her room, and now it's just a game of cat and mouse of her putting it in her room and me putting it back out in the living room. Why? So Karen is the founder of this mental health organization. I also thought, I was like, man, this is awesome. I can overlook all of this because I'm living with a girl and she's all about mental health and positivity and like, yes. But there's inconsistencies with this too, because now whenever we're going out, I'm noticing she's making fun of people behind their backs, making fun of people's outfits, making fun of the way people look. For example, we were on vacation. Her and Bertha are talking about a Tinder date that she once had months ago before COVID. Now he has this beautiful girlfriend and they start going, oh, she's so ugly anyways. She's nothing compared to me. It triggered me. Ladies, we need to be supporting other women. Women supporting women. Women supporting women in a time when nobody else is supporting us. Tearing somebody else down in order to lift yourself up is just saying volumes about you. As, yeah, girl. And I'm not here for it. So I turned to them and I was like, guys, mental health awareness. If you could see the daggers that were thrown my way in their eyes, they were... rolled their eyes and then started laughing. And then Karen said, oh, coming from a girl who called a dog ugly earlier. Yeah, I looked at a dog, I was petting it, and I was like, oh, you're so ugly, you're cute. That's not the same thing. Don't try to deflect the situation of you doing wrong and then pulling a victim card and deflecting the blame onto somebody else. So these red flags are like firing me up now. So we get back and I guess I had gained a little weight. Who gives a flying? She ordered these shorts and she, instead of simply saying, I ordered these and it's the wrong size, do you want to try them on? She said, oh, these shorts are so loose, they're practically hanging off of me. They just like, they won't stay up, but they'll fit you just fine. What? I was like, okay, thanks. Still have those shorts and they look amazing on me. Thank you. So fast forward and it's my birthday and I'm really excited to plan it, but she says, I'm gonna plan your entire party. All you have to do is invite the people you want to come into a group chat. I have everything else, don't even worry about it. Perfect. See, I like a good surprise. Let's see what happens. So I told her the venue that I wanted, which is easy because our friends opened up a bar free of charge. Then a week before the party, she tells me, it's your birthday. You need to take some responsibility, so you need to handle all the food. You're giving me a week to do this. I sorted it out. It was a good party. And Drake then comes in with the birthday cake. And if you know me, you know I love Rick and Morty and Mr. Meeseeks. Drake and his now girlfriend got me a Mr. Meeseeks cake. And it was the most delicious cake I've ever had in my life. Oh, it was so good. And then after the party, I thanked him online with a picture. Karen has a fit because I didn't publicly thank her for everything that she's done for me. So we keep going, and Jorge is back in town! Since the whole apartment thing wasn't settled and Karen wasn't leaving, I made friends with one of our neighbors. She said, I have an extra room, and she was lovely. So Jorge stayed with her, just across the hall. Now we're back to playing volleyball together. Jorge starts like a Sheco volleyball group chat, which is just like a couple of us in it. He's like, oh, we should invite Karen into this. We invite Karen into it, and so now it's just 6 of us. Jorge started a group chat of just us 3, just so we could communicate, like what's going on, you wanna have dinner, this, and the other. And then I started feeling like I was becoming the butt of a lot of jokes, and I don't always have good days. Sometimes I have days where I just need someone to be nice to me and not to be the butt of the joke. And I was having one of these days, and I asked them, I was like, hey guys, look, I'm not really like in the mood. Can you like focus on someone else? The narrative that I got back was, chill out, you're being too sensitive, you're overreacting, you need to get over it. Ugh, sometimes you're just so worthless. Damn, talk about dagger to the freaking heart and twist. After a while, I ended up leaving the group chats and I was like, look, I've expressed how I feel about it. They're not respecting it. So I removed myself from the situation. And it was just an uproar. Like, why did you leave? You know we're only kidding. Made me feel bad, so I joined the group chats again. So fast forward a bit, and one of my dearest friends here, Tatiana, ended her 5-year relationship. She ended her engagement for personal reasons. So she decided to go back to the States, and she was gonna throw her leaving, going away party. We had the 2nd floor, so the 1st floor was still available for regular customers. The 2nd floor was a private party. So I'm getting ready for this party. Jorge's getting ready for this party. Karen starts to get ready for this party too. And Jorge and I are both like, are you sure about this? this? And Karen says, I'm just going to the bar. I have nothing to do with that party. We go to this party. Jorge and I are on the second floor. At some point in the night, Karen had decided, I'm just gonna come up and crash this party. And she's at the bar with both of her girls out on the bar, out of her dress. And usually I'm like, yes, all power to you, free the nipple. Or somebody had been drinking that much, I'd go up and be like, hey girl, your girls are out, maybe like tuck them back in. But I was in the bathroom. As I was coming up the stairs, Tatiana realizes that Karen has crashed the party, and Tatiana and Karen start to have a spat. Like, Karen then decides to threaten to spit in Tatiana's face. Then throw out all of these insults like, this is why your marriage didn't work. This is why you couldn't even keep your fiance at her going away party. So Jorge and I are like, oh shit, what do we do? Because now Tatiana and my friends have come up who knew Sharon, said, no, we do not like you because of what you did to Sharon. You need to leave. So Jorge and I grab her, we take her home. And the next day she messaged us and she said, I do not want to talk about last night. And she was very quiet the next few days. We never talked about it. I'm sure her and Jorge talked about it, but she and I never talked about it. So now I'm realizing, okay, I need to get a job because I want some more money coming in. She is sending me all of these job offers, all of these strange job offers, but job offers nonetheless. And then she starts to mom me and say, you need to get a job. I have a job. What? So I'm like, okay, well, all of the money is in education here. So I'm gonna start applying to schools. She gets mad at me that I want to start applying to schools because of my previous comments of not wanting to be a teacher. I had no intention of being a teacher here. No intention whatsoever. But if that's where the money is, I'm gonna go for it. And then she gets mad that I'm still dating Joe. She doesn't like Joe. Then she gets mad that I'm still close with Drake. She doesn't like Drake. It felt like she was getting angry with anything that I did. I could do no right in her eyes. And it was really tiresome. And I was reaching a breaking point, and I guess she was too. She was feeling it because she sits me down one day and she says, I'm giving you my 1 month notice. I'm in my 30s. I don't need to be living with someone. And I was like, you're absolutely right. And it was like, so I was very supportive. I was like, that's amazing. Get your own space, girl. Do your thing. Final rent payment will be on the 10th of the month. She says, I asked Jorge for the contract and it says this date. And I was like, yeah? Why did you ask someone who doesn't live here for the contract? Why wouldn't you ask me, your roommate? And she says, look, it doesn't matter. The contract says this. And I was like, yes, the contract from when Jorge lived here a year ago. There's a new contract in which we pay on the 10th of the month, every month, as you have been paying for the time that you've been here. She was like, I'm not paying. She still owed me 2 months of utilities and 5 months of Wi-Fi, and now is saying she's not gonna pay rent or this upcoming utilities and Wi-Fi. That's not how this works. I don't get to just tell my landlord, hey girl, yeah, so I'm just not gonna pay rent for the days that I'm not here in the apartment, so like, I'll check that off for you and then I'll just send you whatever the remainder is. That's not how this works. Oh man. Eventually she refused to pay me anything and she moved out. You'd think that it all stopped there because she finally left? Wrong! The insanity has only just begun. So stay tuned for part 3, the final part of this trilogy of madness. Until then, if you want to give this video a like, give my page a like, give me a little subscribe, that'd be great. Maybe give me a little comment of anything. What did you think? What do you think is gonna happen? What are you expecting? And I'll see y'all soon for part 3.